Hey guys and gals, now we're here for Drakewing Gaming and Civvy on Twitter, the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you with a Let's Play episode of Roads Yet Traveled, Merrick's Path. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm chain, you were up, and let's go. Rias site. I'm not sure there'll ever be a time that you can stop. I'm sorry. Right. Should have expected as much. It's taken him almost 100 cycles just to get this far. Who knows how long it will take for him to fix any of it. But the Marin should be safe for personal use in another few days. Right. When Sokno shows up? Correct. They knew about the test, just not the, outcome. Huh. I can hide away, I guess. Although I doubt that's going to be easy when the whole crew knows I exist. I hadn't thought of that. If introductions need to be made, I'll be sure that you're well prepared. Thanks. Oh, of course. But was that a sufficient explanation? I'm sorry, it's not something that can be explained easily. He puts his elbows on the desk and rests his head, his muzzle just breaching the bridge of his fingers. I'd almost say he's trying to look intimidating, if he weren't so short. Is that enough? I mean, it's a generator. I knew that already. Some fucked up and weird engine that no one knows how to fix and no one can predict. Even still, something's off. He can tell me its history, but not where it's from. They didn't create it, did they? No, he was specific. They built the chassis. He built the neural. So where's the battery from? Does he even know? I rub my eyes and stare blankly at the ceiling. I'm not going anywhere. That's the end of it, really. I can ask another day. Maybe one where I'm less battered and bruised. I know there's more to it, though. No. I think I understand. Just be careful with it, please. I know you've dedicated your life to this thing. It's not worth losing more lives over. He lowers his brow, hiding more and more behind the mask. I struck a chord, one I did not mean to. I merely meant my own life, but has this thing already taken its toll in flesh? No. I need to know more before I come to that conclusion. Of course, we'll be under closer scrutiny from Soknos until we can get things sorted out here. I promise you, Rias, I'll do everything I can. I know. I'll believe it when I see it. Words muttered under my breath still find purchase as Tyr lets out a small sigh. A tenuous silence forms before an idea blooms. I do have one question, actually. Yes? How damaged is it? He looks nervous, like this is a question he's answered before and the response is already bad. It's irreparable. But it's been like that for cycles. The damage hasn't seemed to change the functionality, though, and it's not like we can fix it without her research anyways. Her? Must have been an accident, but no. I think that was the first truth tonight. I wonder if whoever she is, she's to blame for all this. No. I can clearly just blame Tyr instead. Even the captain thinks that's alright. I don't think he noticed his mistake. He's just looking over his cobbled-together device. Well, how about this, huh? I think I should be able to get something a bit less, well, bulky finished in a few days. I've been forbidden to work on the Marin until Soknos gets here anyway. But not that I even could, huh? What are you talking about? The translator. It's not the best, I know, but I think I'm going to have to find a better way to transport it. But for a prototype, I'd say it works fairly well. I'm inclined to disagree, but I just nod anyway. He happily turns some knobs on his device as I watch him through half-lidded eyes. This man in front of me, who is he? Is he a genius or a thief? The captain seems to think he's both, and I'm inclined to agree. Better the words from his mouth, though. I could at least ask. Can you tell me about yourself? More than just your superficial titles. Who are you, really? Couldn't have said it better myself, strange talking box. Maybe it is working as intended after all. You want to know about me? Well, I suppose that's not all that surprising. But if you're interested, I can certainly oblige. Although, have I not introduced myself enough? Well, I'm unsure if you know this, but the crane in front of you is 147 cycles old. Almost 148. So I might not be able to shorten down everything for you, but I think I can give a summary of some kind. Let's see. Well, I was born in Ieo. This was before the raising of the towers. Sky pillars, sorry. That doesn't explain it better at all. I know you may have the impression that all the Senos are researchers or doctors, but truly my parents were farmers. You made enough to get by, sure, but things were calmer in that belt during that time. I'm not sure how much there is to say on my early life. Truly, nothing of note really happened until I got to work on the Icaroid. I believe I was already in my 60s at the time. Already graying, too. Huh. But oh my, what a station. Far nicer than this pale imitation. But she gets the job done. For a station that's crashed and burned, they really speak of it as though it were some godsend. Maybe it was worth the sorrow in the end. This was before Soknos, as you know, so I didn't have a name for myself at the time. None of us were prepared for the amount of work it would take just to keep the projects running here. Crews were brought in and cut only days apart. Funding came and went like it was nothing. Some of the best humanitarian work I've ever seen was done in the blink of an eye on that station. Maybe that's why it couldn't last. But it worked out in the end. I managed to get a spot working on the... what was it called again? The Experimental Mass Coalescence Department? Something along those lines. We were really just a group of physicists who wanted a more interesting title. Ha! Either way, it was a bizarre team. No one really knows what we were doing, but we managed to get enough funding to sustain ourselves for a few cycles. Eventually, we managed to get a government contract. Huge, in fact, but we couldn't understand why. Until, of course, it all made sense. Huh? The Marin. They brought us the Marin. I cocked my head. Does he mean to tell me it was just gifted to him? Surely not, but then... my head's spinning. Not only is my jaw throbbing, but I suddenly have 20 more questions for him. 20 more lies he could tell me. So wait, I'm sorry, who brought it to you? Oh, right. At the time, there was a team of Iaean scientists working on some preliminary research on the device. When they got wind that our expertise lined up, we merged teams and worked from there. Sure, okay, that sounds feasible. Wait, fuck, no. He said he wouldn't tell me where the Marin came from, but all of a sudden he's telling me he got it from some Iaean researchers, just like that? No, that can't be right. He must be lying again. It's a half-truth at best. I let out a small groan and rubbed my eyes. Fortunately, it seems that Tyr just thinks I'm tired as he offers me another cup of water. I decline and wave him along in his story. Well, after the Icaroid tragedy, our research was almost brought to a complete halt. We're lucky anything survived, really. When we heard that Sarknos was looking into a new orbital station, however, we had to stake our claim. I took up the leadership role and rallied what was left of the original team. I suppose the rest is history. As we've been working almost non-stop since then. How long ago was this? About 40 cycles or so. The station itself was built fairly quickly, but she's already been in service for twice as long as the original. I've heard there were musings of another station being built, but I can't keep up with it all. He's been working on this same project for over 60 cycles then. 40 of which are probably in this office. I mean, he's dedicated, that's for sure. Wait a minute, if he's been here for that long, then where does Merowyn fit in all this? Tyr? When did you meet Merowyn? Of course, Merowyn. My son. Even if he didn't say that in a biting tone, his phrasing alone feels like a call for alarm. Merowyn wasn't even born before I started working on the Icaroid, too. He's fortunate enough to have missed most of the tragedies that have befallen the Karain. Not to say that he's without his own hardships. I'm sure you're aware of his condition. I believe so, yes. His heart? Yes, he was born with it, or so I was told. Oh my god, he was born with a heart? That's crazy. I didn't meet the boy until he was already 6 or 7 cycles old. You should have seen him. He already came up to here. He raises his hands above his head. He almost sounds proud, stark contrast to his introduction. He laughs himself out of a small stupor and listlessly looks off to the side. Is he looking at the photos from earlier? No, surely not. I saw those and he was barely in them. It was a chance encounter, really. I was back on Iaeo to give a talk, and he was just there. Something about the orphanage giving a tour that day. I truly can't remember at this point. But oh, he was such a cute pup. The words sound like a whisper as they leave his weathered lips. He glances back at me and straightens himself up. After I heard about his condition, I knew I had to do something. He was lucky to have lived for so long without the replacement, and I was glad to assist his recovery. He even had his own neural. It was custom-made by his father. He swirls what's left of his drink in his glass. Something's missing, but this time I can't bring myself to pry further. Did you know he wanted to be an astronaut? He grew out of it, I suppose. I fear his love of medicine sprouted from that moment, and I suppose I can't blame him. He's done well for himself, and that's all I could ask for, really. He sounds like he's trying to convince himself more than anything. It's almost saddening. I knew Tyr wasn't particularly happy with Merowyn's life choices, but he almost seems like he's lost something crucial to his very being. He's a very good man. This is usually the part where the dad says, he sure is, longingly and lovingly. Hell, even my dad would. He's barely home half the time. But instead, Tyr just swirls his near-empty glass. He would have made a better astronaut. I have to change the subject. This is hard, even for me. I can't imagine what's going through his mind right now. Well, that's it then, yeah? You made your home here and have been working since? Huh. Well, it's not that simple, but yes, we have. As much as working under Soknos can feel like a burden, I'm glad to do it. Especially if it allows me to keep working with the Marin. Although... He cuts himself off again. I feel like he's practically begging me to intrude at this point. That Soknos crew is coming soon, yeah? Who are they? Huh. Hopefully no one. It's not uncommon for Soknos to interfere with our work, but they rarely send people all the way out here to do it in person. It's probably just to scare us into shape more than anything. They like to keep tabs on their projects, and, well, things have been a bit strange down here recently, as you can imagine. Do they know about me? I hope not. What? Do you expect them to? Barely anyone knows about you, Rias. You know that. The whole station knows about me. So? Mouth agape, I simply stare in disbelief as Tyr gives me a confused look. You'd have to ask the captain about that. I'm not sure who she chose to share your existence with. Still, I doubt a random Soknos technician would have prior knowledge of your existence. Alright, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and pause it right there. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Anyway, I love you all, and I shall see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!